Hey everyone, so I will continue the same topic I opened yesterday and the day before, and I was talking about the input. So you may look on my screen, on my main screen here on my Mac, and you can see again some fixtures running something similar to the pixel mapping. You're gonna think, yeah, Bazi's already told us about the pixel mapping, but today's lesson is actually going to be about a Resolume running video into the MagicQ. Again, many people ask this, and I'm doing this for all of you who actually asked, who was interested to look at it. And today I will show two methods of actually streaming the data into the MagicQ. So the first one is, I will actually divide it on two parts because that's going to be quite lengthy. So depending on whichever you choose, this is going to be the you can choose whichever method you want to use. So the first method is going to be the simplest method. Basically, what I'm going to do is I will show you from scratch how to patch, say, 100 fixtures, 100 RGB LEDs into the MagicQ, make a wall out of them, so 10 by 10 grid. Then I will show you how on Resolume to create a fixture and send all this data from Resolume into the MagicQ, and this is the result you may get something like that. I mean, this is the basic way. So where I'm going to patch, where I'm going to stream the data like a channel to channel, similar to the first tutorial I showed you about the input on like merging the signals into the console, where I'm going to be streaming like the whole universe through the whole universe. So without further ado, let's start with this, and then you can tell me if you liked it, if this answers your question. If it's not, then the second part of this tutorial will actually demonstrate to you how to do it, how to map the Resolume onto the moving light fixtures, like RGB moving light fixtures, like a washers, where it's going to be a little bit more complex, where you're going to do matching only specific channels. Again, let's start with the basic controls of the sending all the data from Resolume onto the RGB LEDs. Okay, so we will start with the basic stuff to make sure. So I'm going to show everything you need to do on the console first, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do on the Resolume. I'm going to switch it off for now. Okay, so on the console, this is what you have to do. So let's start with a brand new file. So we're going to say setup. New show, yes, live normal. Okay, so I reset everything so it's on blank space. So we're gonna go with again patch. We're gonna go to the view heads, and because this is just a generic RGB LED, I will press choose dimmer media. I'm gonna choose generic LED, and I'm gonna choose LTP 16-bit. Actually, I'm going to choose LTP. Okay, so it's a 3-channel LTP head that's got only 3 channels, RGB, and I'm going to patch them. So I'm going to press patch it. I'm going to say 100 pieces, please, and press enter. So you press yes, auto patch the visualizer, and it's going to patch it for you. So we did this. So we've got 100 fixtures. Now, some of you, if you are using the Magic Viz, so first what you need to do is just make sure that not to kill your rendering, not to kill the processing, switch off everything beam-wise on the visualizer. So select the MagicQ visualizer, go to the MagicQ, preferences on a Mac or settings on a Windows, and here you just untick everything like a draw beams from multicast. Just tick them off for time being. Don't forget to put them back on when you're going to use with the normal moving lights, but for time being, for the example, just tick them off. And yeah, you don't actually need anything. Make the room brightness dimmer and brightness beam brightness higher, and press OK. So what we want is, first of all, we want to put all those fixtures to the back of the wall, and we want to just see the grid 10 by 10. So to do that, you select the group, then you can press view grid, and actually you can well, yeah, let's go from scratch, so just to make it easier for you. We're going to scroll the encoder A to the all the way to the left counterclockwise. We're going to say grid 1. We're going to say set grid size 10/10. Press enter, so you have the grid. When the first cell selected, we press insert heads and we press horizontal. So for time being, just if you don't know how to use the pixel mapper, just follow my lead, but basically just choose horizontal if you want to go them horizontally, vertical if you want to go them vertically. Duplicates and duplicates horizontal, vertical, they are for the fixtures with the multi-elements. So for time being, we're just going to use the normal horizontal. So it's all been patched for us. And now we press and hold shift button. So that shift button, or on your keyboard press shift. You're going to see this arrange vis button. So you click on it and you say put it to the back wall and keep the spacing, because this is just a generic RGB LED parcan, which is going to say leave like a 20 centimeters between. So 0.2 by /0.2, enter. You're going to see it created for us here, the grid, but to see it better, we will just press the patch button, press the view vis, and in the selected heads, we're going to just scroll it down somewhere like there, because then when you're going to zoom in with your mouse, you will be able to nicely see it in the middle of the screen. Cool. Okay, so we are happy with this. So the next thing you need to do is following. Like on the first tutorial show about the input option, you go to the setup. Of course, you need to make sure the network has already been set. So on my Mac system, which is the main system, again, it must be unlocked, or it needs to be a full physical console. But otherwise, if it's the PC and Mac version, it needs to be unlocked with any blue hardware. So the Magic DMX dongle, the cheap dongles, will not work. Okay, so it needs to be unlocked. So make sure you're on the correct network adapter with the correct IP address. So it's all correct. So I put 200.150, subnet mask 255.000. Okay, then you go to the View DMX input option in I/O. And like from the previous videos, I explained to you that if you're using the ArtNet for the out, and if you want to send the data in, you need to make sure that your universes do not clash. So as you can see, from 0 to 11, I'm using the ArtNet for the out. And then from 12 to 23, I'm using for in. If you don't know, just select that, type 12, and press enter. And like on Excel spreadsheet, it's gonna add +1 to all the lines, and it's going to be 12, 13, 14, etc. And the last thing you need to do here is for the first 4 universes, or whatever, I was using 4 universes. Let's say you select the input column, the test column, and then you click here as an option and choose input. So now the data is gonna run through MagicQ, and it will be bypassing any programming, any playbacks, any programmer you're using in the programmer, any fixtures you use. So this means it gives the full run through all the data from universe 12 of the external system. In our case, it's a Resolume. It will come as a ArtNet 12, and it will go through, and it will come out as a ArtNet 0, and it will bypass anything you programmed on a console. Cool. Okay, so this is what you have to set, and if you want to obviously preview it, you can also select your heads. You just press out window. This is your grid selected. Make sure the view grid is ticked off. Go in the heads, press view inputs. View inputs. Again, we go back to the out window, view plan. Yeah. So you're going to see all the results on this screen as well. So now let's go to the Resolume part, and this is where a lot of people are struggling to actually set it up. Okay, so now we're on a Resolume Arena site, and it's running on my PC. So first of all, you need to set up, of course, the IP address on this machine, just to make sure that it connects. It it can be seen on the other system. So the IP address on this machine is 2.0.0.1, and the subnet subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. Okay, so the both systems now running, and what I'm gonna do is I will show you how to set it up from scratch, and yeah, I'll show you the basic example how to do it. So I've started, you can start as a new composition, so composition new. I've loaded some clips here already. They may not be the best, but this is what I have for the current example. So what we do next is you have to create a fixture in the Resolume to be able to map it from here. So you press Arena, Fixture Editor, and then here you have to create your own fixture editor. I've created mine, but I'll show you how to create your own one. So basically you need to create a new profile. So for this you press plus, and it creates a new fixture, and you can type RGB LED 3 channels. Okay. So then what you need to do is you need to give the size of it. So because currently the Resolume sees it as a one single unit, so it's a 1 pixel. But we've got a grid we need to map it on, so it's a 10 by 10 grid. So to change the size, you can change the parameters width and height. So you can use the plus button to increase the size, say for example to 10. And if you want 10 vertically, you don't need to press plus all the time. You can just click on it, type 10 and press enter. So now I've got 10 by 10 grid. So the next important bit is the color spacing. So the media server need to tell that it's calculating everything on the 3-channel base or 4-channel base or 5-channel base, and how those colors are actually done in the Resolume. So in our case, we're trying to map on a fixture which is a RGB, which is a standard red, green, blue. If you have a fixture that is got non-standard color sequence, then you have to change to the RBG, GRB, etc. Or if you've got RGBW with a white channel, separate channel, you can use that, and that's going to do the calculations including white channel. Or if you've got CMY fixture, then you choose the CMY. So this is important. And the last bit here you need to make sure you've set correctly is the distribution of the channels. So by default it counts from left to right, from top to bottom. So it goes channels like this, then the second row, the third row, etc. The same way is done on the MagicQ, as you can see. So this is how we're going to work from here. Okay, so the next thing we need to look at is the output window. So you have to click on the output and you have to press advanced. So in advanced, you will see that familiar screen. Normally you add here screens or slices. In your case now you have to add a device called DMX Lumiverse. So when you add DMX Lumiverse, that basically is going to be your like a screen, the one you're trying to map it on. And when you select it, it gives you an option where you can select where is going to be the target of all your pixel mapping, so where you're going to send all the data. So if you click here, you may have the no output. That means if you need to switch off the output. You've got the broadcast, so it's going to broadcast over the ArtNet to all available universes, but that's not really the best way to do it. You can also choose IP addressing. That means it's going to be you're going to do selective device where you're going to send the data like we're doing now. And MagicQ is actually been recognized by Resolume, so it tells you I can see the IP address 200.150. Would you like to send on this? You click on it, yes. And the next important bit is to set up the subnet and the universe that you're trying to send it on. So as you remember in the MagicQ, I've set it as universe 0. And universe 12 as the receiving universe, and the subnet mask is going to be 0. So you say universe 12 subnet 0. That way it will be sending all the information into the MagicQ. And when we've done it, we have to click here and press DMX fixture. So when you click on a DMX fixture, you're going to receive something like that. It's going to say dummy fixture with a 1x1 cell fixture, but that's not what we need, because we've created our own one, which is the 10 by 10. So to do this, you have to look over here. It says fixture, and you change the type to the RGB LED. So it brings you this. It might be even smaller than that, but you can click and drag and actually increase the size of this. And you can specify from which channel it starts. So at the moment it starts from channel 1. This is exactly what we need. And you may say, okay, but it's dark screen, I don't know what I'm doing now. So you say, okay, press save and close. And now you run that video, and you see as soon as you start running, you will see the pixel mapping on the MagicQ starts immediately. So how to make actually a sense out of this? So if you go back to the output and advanced, you will see that, so basically this video canvas, I think it's either HD or full HD, so it should be somewhere between 1280 by 800 pixels and up to full HD, so it's 1920 by 1080. So that's a lot of pixels, but what we have is actually 10 by 10 pixels, only 100 pixels. So what we need is, we need to find some small area to map it on, use as a source, and reduce our the mapping area. So as soon as you reduced it, and you can look at your pixel mapping on your Resolume, you can see it actually now makes much more sense, and you can see the pixel mapping working perfectly. Yeah, so then you can close it, and if you want to change pixel mapping, you can change this, and now you're gonna see the different pixel mapping running on a screen. Again, you can play with this, and you can see you can map stuff around. Again, that may, for this small amount of fixtures, that may not be the best example, but I just wanted to give you the direction where to look at. And yeah, I hope that was useful for you. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask, and in the next tutorial I will show you how to actually map on a little bit more complex fixtures, like moving heads with the RGB channels, and apart from RGB there are other channels. So I'll show you how to do the selective data merging in the MagicQ. That's all for today. Thank you, and bye bye.